All right. I have to welcome myself back to the land of living. I did indeed come down with COVID, as did my son. And I was really only, really sick, I would say, for about 2 days. And my son was really sick for about a day, where he had fever over 102 and was just dead to the world. I've never seen the kid so dead. And, mostly recovered. I did have a bout of, I think I'm still having a little bit of desensitivity regarding certain smells and tastes. So I still have a little bit of that lingering problem. But for all other purposes and issues, everything else seems to be resolved. Having COVID, however, did throw off my sort of clockwork schedule. And so I apologize for not publishing a video in quite a while, just because I've been having to catch up on all the other life stuff that sort of threw me under the bus for. It's also the end of the school term here where I'm teaching, and so it's the sort of end of year madness as well. So I apologize for not getting a video very quickly out, but hey, better late than never. Here we are. And today I've got a good lesson for you, because I had a viewer who sent me this game, and his name is Theo, and he just asked for like a general review, like general tips. And I don't think we're going to do like a full review of the game today. Instead, we're going to focus on one aspect of the game. And I don't know if this is actually Theo's problem. I don't know him personally. I haven't conversed with him much. But it comes out in this game. And his personality might be entirely different than than the quirk I'm going to describe for you in this game. But regardless of what it is, it's there. There's a very strong flavor in his game. And what am I talking about? Well, it's kind of a lack of bravery. I think that's how I'm going to phrase it for now. And I don't mean that to be derogatory. But it's a area that needs improvement, I think, in his play. And for that matter, probably many of yours. Many of you probably have the same problem. Theo is about 12K. He's white in this game. And we're just going to go through and see how often he sort of fails to be brave. And so what I hope to do in this little lesson is to give you not only some general, confidence boosting of when and how you can be brave, but also how you can calculate when you you absolutely need to find a brave move. And so we're going to do all that. Oh, excuse me. Let's drink some tea. This is good tea. I like this tea. So anyway, welcome back. And like I said, Theo is white. Oops. Hey, my arrow key's working. Is this all going? There we go. We got arrow keys. And we got a cross game. Sure. I've been digging cross games lately, so I'm totally on board for this. And our opponent plays from this side, in classical Go opening theory, we'd expect that move to be on this side of the board. This is just a wider distance from those two stones than from these two stones. But, this is a 12Q game, and, it's really not even, it's fine. I'm kind of getting hung up on some very, high theoretical theory that I don't even think the AIs and the robots really even care about that much. But anyway, this is kind of a weird side of the board to first play. Theo makes a small enclosure, and that's a fine move. This is certainly a traditional move. And since I don't want to say it punishes black for playing on the wrong side of the board, because the stone is still useful, but it's nice. This is totally great. Our opponent's going to play another 5-space extension. Again, that's very classical. We don't see the robots wanting to do this sort of extension anymore early on in the opening. These have been demoted to middle game moves, essentially. At one point in time, they were quite popular for many, especially influence-oriented players. But again, we see them less and less with the AI. I still kind of believe in playing them in the grand scheme of Go as a human game, and being not just a conversation between two players, not just a contest of wills, but also as an active expression. I think I like these big moves. Theo makes another enclosure, and so far you may not realize it, because all these moves make sense, but they are conservative. There's a little bit of maybe fearfulness or just wanting to settle down and lock down what you have. It's maybe a little bit too soon to call this a lack of bravery, but we're going to see that theme reinforced. And so what do I mean by this? Well, what else could white do here? Well, white has a couple of really awesome moves to be a little more active. One is just to take the corner. Very robot-y move. You could take the other corner. You could also approach either one of these corners. All these are much more active. Now, in opening theory, a defense of your own enclosure is worth about the same as an approach of your opponent's, at least in classical theory. However, the robots, the AIs definitely prefer the more active version, even though in sort of like high-level opening theory, they're kind of about the same. So, I can't criticize it. It's not a bad move. But it's already setting white up to play more passively throughout the rest of this board, as we'll see. Black plays a double wing. This is total classical Fuseki corner type of formation. And the classical response is for white to invade immediately. Just come in here and just don't let black really perfect this, because this is a lot of influence over one entire quarter of the board. So you have to break it up. White, of course, does not do that, but chooses to extend the top corner again. Now, at this point, again, none of these moves are terrible, right? They all have value, but it's a little bit about efficiency and character. And what I mean by that is these two stones are totally fine all by themselves. They really don't need more support. You could even argue one stone doesn't really need support, but it's helping out one stone with an additional stone is a lot more valuable than helping out two stones with a third stone. That's just sort of like how math works. This is 100. Helping out one stone is 100% benefit. Helping out two stones with a third stone is only a 50% benefit. The other thing I don't like about this move is it still actually leaves a ko in the corner. White might be thinking that, this just locks down this corner. I've got cash in the hand. I can play the rest of the game. But it really doesn't. If this plays this way, there is a ko here. And so I learned this very early on, like when I was probably about 17, 18, 19 Q. I played this corner formation, and I was playing it in games in person, and this is when I was living in Texas. And at the Austin Go Club, there were players who knew how to invade the corner anyway, make a ko out of it. And so I learned, this isn't really good. And so, just in terms of just a local concept here, in general, we don't really like to make this formation. We shouldn't be excited to make this formation because it does leave a ko. Okay. Anyway, that's what we played. We're hunkering down. We're playing very territorial. Black is playing much faster. We're going to play solid, slow, and steady. Okay, that's a style. I often play that style. In my younger days, when I was playing and first getting strong at the game, I actually very much liked a fast style because I wanted to build a moyo, because I always wanted to be on the attack. I didn't really care about territory. It was like, no, I have the most enjoyment from this game when I'm attacking things. How do you attack things? Well, you develop so fast that your opponent has to take a risk to come in. And when your opponent takes that risk, then you can attack, and then you can have fun. This style of Go, this much more rogue ninja kind of let's stick to what we have and then invade sneakily later. It's taken me a much longer time to really appreciate and adopt as my own style, and I have moved much more towards that more solid style of play, that more proper style as the years go by. But anyway, that's my own story. Again, our opponent takes a double wing. In this case, we have the two low stones and the upper left-hand corner of the two high stones. They are very different. I still think the best move for white is to invade. And you can invade either corner. I think there's arguments for both. I'm not actually sure what the AI would say. But they're both good possibilities. But regardless of what you choose, you can kind of see that black has all the potential on this board. White has no more potential. White is saying, I can win this game with this many points plus this many points. This is about 15, this is about 10. Plus Comey, White's saying, all I need is 30 points to win this game. And, currently black has 0 points. That's very reasonable. But we need to make sure that if you are going to start taking territory at any point in the game, if you play a move that's just like, I just want points, you have to make sure those points are enough to win the game. And playing another slow move here at this point would make me so uncomfortable because I would not be confident that I could get, or that's all the points I need to win the game. But our friend Theo, he is fearless in his own way, and he extends again from this corner. And this is the first part of the game when I was looking at it that it struck me like, oh, this I need Theo to be braver. I need Theo to be more active. This is all very passive. This is very fair. Again, I don't know Theo personally, but I suspect he is a completely reliable, loyal friend of a person. I suspect he's a very genuine, nice, honest human being. And those attributes are actually mapping themselves onto the game of Go, into his Go game. And that's all unfortunate because all those skills, as great as they are in the real world, on the Go board, they're kind of a liability. I'm not saying you have to be dishonest, but you have to be you have to be thinking more aggressively. You have to be thinking more along the lines of like, okay, what can I get away with? And not get away with in the sense of cheating, get away with in the sense of, pushing the boundaries. And so at this point, this move was very disappointing for me to see. Again, Theo is asking for a few more points. These little measly points right here. He's also, there's a little bit of an ask where he's asking, oh, by the way, may I come in here, please? This is working towards the black moyo so slowly. It's like a steamroller. He's just riding a steamroller trying to, drive down the street and go someplace new. And, if someone doesn't want a steamroller to come through, the steamroller is going so slowly, they have some time to put up some signs and say, no steamrollers here, or whatever. I don't think that's how traffic works. Anyway, at this point we have a problem though. Like this is not, we're not thinking aggressively and active enough. We're not being brave enough. And so if you like this move, that's okay. But I want you to ask yourself, how much risk are you willing to take on right now? And there's a lot of moves here that really aren't that risky that feel risky. Like this is going to be a video and a lecture and a lesson that's kind of that's going to explore the gap between our Go skill and our Go feelings. And so that's what we're talking about. Black plays here, it's fine. It's starting to reach out to this stone, which can be undercut or invaded. It's building the corner. In general, I don't hate it. It's nice. It's fine. It's probably not the move I would play, but that's okay. Again, the next white move, Theo plays another extension. Now, this is actually a really efficient way to take territory. We have a double wing formation with a Shamari sort of backing it up. Classic. Like very nice little miniature moyo that's just very efficient. However, none of this was in danger. Right? And nor are we really threatening black with anything along the way. We want to play these moves while really threatening black in some fashion. And we're not doing that. We're just plotting. We're just saying, oh, I would like these points as well. Oh, by the way, I'd like these points. It's like Theo rolled into a restaurant and just started going down the menu and just ordering, all the items, one thing at a time. Like, call the waiter over. I would like the chicken. All right, send the waiter back. Waiter comes over. I'd like the soup, too. Waiter goes away, comes back. You can see how this is not efficient. That's kind of what we're doing. We're just asking for one thing at a time. It's also, we're reinforcing already strong stones. And if you keep finding yourself that you're reinforcing strong groups, I need to ask you why. And one of the reasons might just because you're not feeling brave enough to do anything else. You just look at the rest of this board and you're just feeling kind of like this isn't your neighborhood. This is like you're in Kansas, or you're not in Kansas anymore, right? You're in Oz. But you got to try, because if you just keep reinforcing and shoring up your own defenses, your opponent can just carve a bigger pie than you. And we do see that happen in this game. So anyway, this is a nice shape. Like it makes a nice corner pocket of territory, but it only really does one thing. It doesn't do enough. Again, our opponent is going to build their corner. And maybe at this point, this is the first time we can really start to clearly see that if both players just build up their own defenses, their own areas, this is how much white will get. And this is how much black will get. And so if we never do anything, at least if we're just looking at the bottom half of the board, never mind the top half, black is going to build so much faster and more efficiently if we just play defensive move, defensive move, defensive move. The first logical step to forcing yourself to be brave is to realize that if you're not going to be brave, you're not going to win. And so if you can see that at this point in the game, I hope you all can, that if you're looking at this board, that if black is just building faster, you need to be brave. You need to stop shoring up defenses. You're strong enough. You need to go and cut that territory in two. I'll be honest, this move makes me gag. Can't play this. Locally, it's not the worst move in the world, but oh man, is it not doing much. This is already strong. We play moves in the center when we want to run out or form a big moyo, neither of which are applicable here. This is the first move that I have an internal disgust reaction. And we need to be brave, right? We can't just keep shoring up defenses. This and this are smaller than both this and this, as we've already discussed. You have to go faster. So black plays this attachment move. And this is the first contact we have in this game. What move? We're at move 17, so that's okay. It's still fairly late by modern standards. Usually we'd be playing some Joseki, especially in the corner by now, that would, have some contacts. So it's a little bit late. But contact plays like this are really great when you want to over-concentrate your opponent. And so even though this isn't the move I would play, this is not the best move on the board, I really like black's idea, and I want you to appreciate it, because if your opponent already has so many stones here, you're black's already going, I'm never going to get in there, that's too strong. Even though there's still this potential for a ko. I'm going to ignore that for now. Black's I'm never getting in there. When you've just given up on something entirely, your opponent is just too strong, force them to defend it over and over and over again as much as you can. And so I like the spirit of this. So even though the move itself and the timing I don't like, I do like the spirit, because white has sort of voluntarily played too slow. So if white is playing too slow, force them to keep playing slow. In this case, white responds, black pulls back, this is okay. And then, instead of responding again, we tanuki, which is great. Love it. I'm not in love with this particular tanuki, though. White should come over here, or over here, or over here. All of those are bigger and better. Or even here, or maybe possibly there. Possibly there. We need to be brave. This is a little bit too honest, once again. And black, of course, plays the natural move. And instead of white pushing it anymore, white just says, okay, I'm just satisfied. I'm going to add these points to my territory. I'm going to take away, a line of territory from yours. Very permissive seeking, or permission seeking. Instead here, I think this is a much better move for black. Black shouldn't care too much about these points, because if white's really insistent on taking away the side points, black's going to get a very big moyo, or potential territory right here. So this is not a good move. However, white is not feeling particularly brave today. And so white doesn't take advantage. White just needs to cut. And already, I hope some light bulbs go off, because it's never too late to be brave, it turns out. If white plays this right now, this is a great result for white. Black has these two stones, which are a little bit weak. If black tries to kill this stone, well, black needs to defend here, and then black needs to defend here again. And then white's going to be able to run out and essentially cut these two stones off. And, man, white's going to be able to run faster. I got to say, black needs to take a move to even fix this connection or do something. And if black ever just gives these two stones up, it's actually really hard to give those stones up and feel good, because look at now white's potential moyo. Look at how big we've grown it. If these two stones die, and they shouldn't die, but this is what white is threatening. And isn't that cool? Like before, we were just taking the little bits of, we were just asking for this much. But now we're like, okay, this is serious. We're going to take another 15 points on top of that. And meanwhile, where black was asking and basically getting this entire quarter of the board, we've shut that down. Yes, this is still getting more territorial and solid, but if white gets a strong group here, this top is not as solid. This top is not as strong. White might launch a second invasion there later after this all clears up and resolves. So this board is so much more inviting for white. We have much more limited black's potential on top, and we've given ourselves a target to attack, and if we actually kill it, there's a big fat reward. This is very exciting. This is a great moment to be brave. Unfortunately, Theo plays here to defend our own territory once again. And this is for me, this is very cringy. Like, black plays here, and using the center line of the board, we can see that if this is the territorial line for white, if the game ends right now, and this is the territorial line for black, you can see black has taken more. We can't just keep defending our territory in this case. This left-hand side of the board is to black's advantage. So the more we just go tit for tat, defend, black is defending something that's worth more. You have to be brave. All right, this next move. White senses that this top is getting big, but instead of being brave and invading or finding some other point, and there's still good points in here. Like, I know it might feel like it's all black, but again, we have that one, we have that one, we have this one. We might even have moves like this, or this. Or, we could even play I don't want to play a gentle move, I want to play one of those first, but, at some point we'd even just throw a stone in here and just limit it to the sides and try to make sure black doesn't get anything in the middle. When we play this, we have the exact same scenario. You're inviting black to come down, and again, we are asking for this much. Meanwhile, we're essentially forcing black to take this much. We're just helping black build that stronger and stronger. And which one of these areas is bigger? It's blue by a good margin. So maybe some of you were thinking that, oh, no, we're just buttering up black. We're just going to make black think he has all this, and then we're going to invade. Well, sometimes that's correct. Sometimes that's the correct strategy. But the longer you wait, the riskier it is. If we invade early, there's very little risk. Like it's so hard to kill a stone when there's only, 12 stones on the board in total. It's a lot easier to kill groups and individual stones when, there's 50, 60 stones on the board. And again, white is defending this little patch of land and helping black get even more. This is not correct. I don't know what black is thinking. And but this is the moment where Theo is brave, because maybe he just sensed that, oh, this was the wrong move. I have a defect. I have something I can aim at, and maybe that's all he needed. He just needed to see a defect because he's going to be brave and he's going to dive in there. Now, this point is not the point I would aim for. It's a weird point, but this is my proud moment, right? I'm like, Theo, he went in, he did it. He was brave. You might want to peep at this directly first, and then we could even attack it like this and just run out. Again, this move is still viable. So is this one. These are all still good moves. If you're worried about being kicked, well, then you can ask for this and then run out, or even jump out like this. All this is very playable. And we're just going to run out and attack this. And in doing so, we're going to limit the size of this black corner to maybe that. Maybe even less. So this is a good plan. Again, I don't like the point itself, but hey, this is the first point. We're on move 32. Theo is brave. Awesome. Black's going to attach this. I have no idea why. We're going to take advantage of that defect. Sure, that's fine. Hane, also fine. And I don't like this move so much. This is a little bit heavy-handed. If you're going to play another move in here, because you played this Hane, you can clearly jump, right? Black can't do anything. There's just, everything's protected, and even almost have some potential eye shape. But it's actually, even if you Hane, it's still actually really hard for Black to solve this cleanly. And so if Black has to end up killing these two stones, but you end up getting all this influence and coming around, that's a good game for you, White. So even here, Hane is still actually a good move. But, you know, any of these are also probably better than this. This is just a little bit slow. Yeah. And not only is it slow, it's a little bit like we're fattening the duck so it gets eaten for Christmas dinner. Like we're the duck in this case. We want to play a little bit faster so we always can fly away, so we can't get trapped. But again, Theo's being brave. We're very proud. All right, now here we're starting to make some shape. That's great. I guess it's okay. This is level. This move, we just need to get out. Like we don't really care about these two stones, right? For all of our purposes, we just need to get out fast. And maybe this is the crux of why Theo isn't inherently brave or plays brave moves. Maybe you are a very brave person. You just aren't playing brave moves on the Go board in this game. But this is the crux: is that Theo has an everyone must survive mentality. No man left behind. And when you have that mentality, yeah, that's going to make you really cautious. If you are a general and you can't afford to lose a single soldier, well, you're not going to go fight battles that are strategically you probably need to win, right? You're only going to put your soldiers into battle where you know you can win. And unfortunately, at least in terms of, well, unfortunately, because in terms of war, but specifically in terms of Go, that doesn't work. You need to often make sacrifices for the greater good. And so if you're very attached to every one of your stones, you can't be brave. You have to be the cautious general who only fights battles he can win. And so that's sort of what I see happening here, where we have to say, no, that doesn't matter. We're just, this, keep your eye on the prize. This is the war. This is what we're going after. If these two stones die in the process, if Black takes time to kill them, so be it. When we play moves like this, we're trying to save them. And we're getting out a little bit. It's like we're doing two half-assed jobs. I'm not doing either one particularly well. But this is not keeping an eye on what's important. Here, again, another opportunity for us to get out. But no, Theo, every last man must survive. This is a weird move. Black is trying to build this for some reason, but Black cannot build this when this is on fire. It's totally unreasonable. Black figures out that, this is on fire. It needs to get out. And here, can we play this? I think we can play this. If, maybe there. Yeah, this looks just totally over for Black. Is there any other choice? If we just cut right now, I guess Black has to play there. We can ask with a move like this, although we actually probably should just play here. Continue the fight. But here, this is another opportunity to be brave. Wait, played this in the game. This is the game sequence. Oh, good job, Theo. Oh, but no, he didn't cut. Right, he popped out here. Yeah, I think you have time to cut. Again, there's a fire here, and Black is burning down. Just don't let Black put water on himself. That's kind of what you're doing by just crawling out. Too safe. Yeah, this fixing is very, very tragic. Now this fire, the fire's not put out, but it's much more comfortable. Okay, same thing. This is not. I have a problem with the timing. It might be okay, but it feels like we should continue this. Again, this is what's important. And I see what you're trying to do, but it's very risky. At least it's brave, though. Also, yeah, playing another move here, probably not helpful. Because what's likely to happen now is black's actually going to come around from the outside and actually sort of trap you on the inside. And you're going to have to find your own eyes. Black doesn't care about these points. Black is already alive in the corner. If this group links up to this group on the outside, like, oh, that's so much better for black than any other result. Black's going to counterattack and try to separate, but does a weird... This is all weird. Like, no, okay. Oh my gosh, this is a weird... What? So you don't have time to play here. Black will just cut you. Oh, black did cut. Good. I don't think black has time to play that move, though, because of this. Okay, so here's opportunity. White, you must be strong. You must be brave. You must not get distracted. I don't remember what happens. Theo sent me this game like over a week ago, and I briefly looked at it then. I haven't looked at it since, and I can't quite remember what happens, which is getting very exciting for me now at this point. But I think Theo gets distracted by these. Oh yes, no. This is what's important. We have to keep our attention there. Okay, this is nothing. Tanuki. No, why? It's not important. Not important. Okay, Theo, you're really trying really hard to make these live, but I got some bad news for you. Oh, no, just cut. Theo, you let him connect. Oh, no, sorry. Or he let you connect. Yeah. All right, regardless, everybody here is ignoring what's important. Is this group versus this group. This is what this game is about, and both players have ignored it for the last 15 moves. Ah, yes, Theo, good job. All right, here we go. I don't really understand that move. We can just play something much simpler. Much better, much easier, much simpler. And, okay, we're going to cut, and black is just about out. So, looks like, oh, wait, what? Why didn't black play here? Who knows? Oh, maybe he didn't want to hurt those two stones, but okay. Well, again, I want to talk. Oh dear, really gonna kill this whole thing? I don't think so. This makes 2 ice. Okay. Does it not? Oh, it didn't make 2 ice. Wait. Here? Oh, yeah, black needs... Oh, no, you have to take. You do have to take. Interesting. Okay, so this doesn't make 2 ice. Cool. Oh, phone. Hold on. All right, so anyway, at this point, the game is basically over. Because it does turn out that black does indeed die, and this does not live. The 2 players played out anyway, and they basically squirm all through this part of the board. This territory basically remains intact. Black is able to invade over here just amazingly, despite all of white's presence. Black shouldn't be able to do that, but again, as we saw earlier, black can often find a ko here. In this case, white is just strong enough where it shouldn't happen, but regardless, that's not really the point of what I want to focus on today. What I do want to just instill in you guys is that if your opponent is taking more than you are, or faster, that means you're the one who has to invade. That's the one. That means you have to be brave. And if you don't want to be brave, play faster moves so you don't have to be as brave. Like I think that's the moral of the story. If you feel like, oh yeah, you have the confidence to invade and do whatever you want on that go board, then you can play very slow and defensive. And you can totally play a very solid style game like Theo here. But at some point you're going to have to be brave. And so if you don't have that, play a little more fairly, play a little more fast, just play faster. Play a little more annoying. And yeah, you just have to be brave when you play go if you want a good result out of the opening. Now in this game, black did take an early lead just because white was playing so conservatively, but I think white just had better reading skills. And so the good news for Theo is even if his opening was a little bit weak, and maybe again this is just a 1 game sample size, so I don't know if his opening was a little bit slow or weak, he did outread his opponent, and that reading skill is going to pay dividends and let you go further and longer. It's a lot easier to learn opening theory and style moves and just being able to count and estimate who has bigger territory and find invasion points. That stuff is all easier than learning how to read well. So I want you to keep that in mind. So even though maybe Theo here you're struggling with how to improve your game next, if you can read your opponent, that's the better skill to have in the long run. And it paid off here. You got the win, and that's my little tangent on how to be brave in Go. So anyway, I hope to get back to a more regular posting schedule. Again, I know I missed the last, I guess almost over 2 weeks now. I haven't posted anything, but that will hopefully change. So go play some Go. Take care of yourselves. Stay healthy.